Nimrod is a name in the Bible that many don't give a second thought about, and yet that same name is admired by some. But is this personality truly admirable, or has this character enjoyed undue admiration because of the vagueness surrounding his name? He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Most readers take mighty hunter before the Lord as a noble title, but there are scholars and theologians who suggest and assert that this is a poor English translation of the original text. They argue that the original text before the Lord actually mean to say to the face of the Lord, which is another way of saying that he was a mighty hunter being opposed to or in opposition to the Lord. It suggests a darkness, an evil, nefarious figure, one in rebellion against God, just like Satan. Setting aside scholarly and theological digging of the words used in the original manuscripts and simply sticking to the succeeding verses, it says, "And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth-ir, Calah, and Resen between Nineveh and Calah, that is, the principal city." For those who know the Bible, Babel and Nineveh are cities that we know for sure are cities of the enemies of God, those who are opposed to the Most High God. Babel is where the tower of brick and mortar, meant to go high into the heavens as a sign of rebellion and opposition to the Most High God, was built. This is the beginning of the kingdom of Nimrod, a kingdom that has in its core and its foundation a heart in rebellion against God. In the book of Jonah, we know that Nineveh is a great city of wickedness. Nimrod had been building cities where wickedness pervades its society, cities whose people became the enemies of the people of God. The wickedness and rebellion of Nimrod is also something that is consistent in ancient Hebrew thought. In his work, Antiquities of the Jews, the historian Flavius Josephus wrote this. Now it was Nimrod who excited them to such an affront and contempt of God. He was the grandson of Ham, the son of Noah, a bold man and of great strength of hand. He persuaded them not to ascribe it to God, as if it was through his means they were happy, but to believe that it was their own courage which procured that happiness. He also gradually changed the government into tyranny, seeing no other way of turning man from the fear of God, but to bring them into a constant dependence on his power. He also said he would be revenged on God if he should have a mind to drown the world again. For that, he would build a tower too high for the waters to be able to reach, and that he would avenge himself on God for destroying their forefathers. Now the multitude were very ready to follow the determination of Nimrod, and to esteem it a piece of cowardice to submit to God. And they built a tower neither sparing any pains, nor being in any degree negligent about the work. And by reason of the multitude of hands employed in it, it grew very high, sooner than anyone could expect. But the thickness of it was so great, and it was so strongly built, that thereby its great height seemed, upon the view, to be less than it really was. It was built of burnt brick, cemented together with mortar, made of bitumen, that it might not be liable to admit water. Needless to say, the people of God in ancient times understood that Nimrod was a rebel and an instigator of rebellion towards God. Some believe that Nimrod took on the name Gilgamesh, a character portrayed in the oldest work of epic literature, a Mesopotamian literature written on clay tablets. Even more, there are those who believe that Nimrod, who has taken on the name Gilgamesh, reigned as king in Uruk, which the Bible translates as Erech. And this is not hard to believe because Erech is one of the cities listed as part of Nimrod's kingdom. Legends even suggest that Nimrod, or Gilgamesh, who was a king, hunter, and warrior, was deified in Babylon and given the name Marduk, which evolved to the god Mars of Roman mythology. Today, there is a growing belief that Gilgamesh is the founder of the first masons, builders of brick and mortar, which are the materials of the Tower of Babel, and that the G in modern Freemasonry, which has been said to mean geometry, actually points to the name Gilgamesh, the name that Nimrod, the rebel opposed to God, had taken on. Now, whether these legends and their literature are true or not, what is written about Nimrod in the book of Genesis do give us an idea that Nimrod is not some innocent figure, but one who was in rebellion, in opposition to the Most High God. He was a rebel who made his kingdom, cities, and his people do the same.